The weak side tackle has what we feel a real difficult assignment, a very difficult technique, really. Actually, what he has to do is prevent any kind of plugging by the first man to his inside. In this case, we refer to him as a one-man. His technique is to pull deep. One of the common errors is to pull too flat. If he pulls too flat in this area, with this man blocking onside and the onside guard pulling, this gives this man a great area in which to pursue that ball carrier. So what we ask him to do is to pull real deep out here, as deep as he possibly can, almost the same technique as the guards use, in order to cut this man off. The deeper he pulls, we feel, the better position. If this man were to go in pursuit this way, he would just continue and he'd take the first hole and seal. Usually what happens, however, this man comes in and we're in position to make the cut off on him, or to run up his back, by the way, which is perfectly legal, because all this action takes place on the line of scrimmage. The weak side end releases for the weak side safety, just a straight release, and sometimes he may be split. The wing back, his technique is to come off the line of scrimmage to try to drive the halfback back. We feel that the longer the longer he can delay the halfback from coming up to meet this play, the better the play will be. So his technique is to come off to simulate a pass. However, he must be very aware of the safety man. If the safety man forces quickly, he's got to come off that drive and drive down on the safety. His assignment is the safety man. If it's a zone coverage or a coverage where they're rotating, where the halfback is doing the forcing and the safety man is going to the corner, he will run right by the halfback for the safety man. The quick force, of course, he's got to come off and drive it down. The halfback's technique, and the halfback is the ball carrier on a power sweep right, is the lead step and to come across just as hard and as fast as he can in a straight line. Now, as soon as he gets the ball from the quarterback, who opens up in an open pivot, as soon as he gets the ball, he seats it and then comes under control with a slight belly. We ask him to come under control and to belly slightly so he can key the block of the Y end on the linebacker or the man who's playing over the Y end. So he can make a decision whether to go inside or outside of that block. Also, if he comes across too fast, he not only will not be able to make the cut back inside, also will cut off the guards or beat the guards out in that area. So we ask him to come under control to key that block. If the defensive man is the isolation man or the defensive linebacker is driven to the outside, the linebacker or the back will cut inside. If the man makes a move to the inside, the back will continue and go to the outside. That's one of the great advantages to this play. It has really two holes. We're looking for an isolation between the Y end and the linebacker, and we also want to create an alley right in here. That's what we are looking for. The block out by the guard, the block in by the safety man, the seal in this area, the isolation here that gives the ball carrier the alley in which to run. I've actually seen this play run inside the defensive end. The man in this position, the two-man, who reads the play sometimes and makes a violent move to the outside. But because of the belly of the halfback, because of the control running of the halfback can see this, and he comes off the outside foot, and bing, he bring it right back inside the defensive end. That's what makes it one of the great plays, I believe, because it has so many holes to hit. Now, here's the sweep in the game. It is again. Now, I don't mean that our opponents cannot make an unusual adjustment to stop the sweep, and there are many adjustments that can be made. However, when they do, they leave themselves open to other areas of attack. For example, we have a play which we call an influence play or a sucker play. The defensive man in this position, whom we refer to as the defensive tackle, right here, with the pull of the guard and with the flow of the play, and with the blocking in which the center either blocks onside on the sweep or goes for the middle linebacker, there's no question that there's a great area here for him to chase the play and try to catch the play from behind. As you know, what we try to do in explaining, when we explain the sweep, we want the remove tackle or the left tackle to come and cut off from the backside. But sometimes, if the defensive tackle takes a real sharp angle, it's almost impossible to get him. Now, this we think is an unusual adjustment of defensive play in order to stop that sweep. So we have a play that will attack that area, which we call an influence play or a sucker play. Actually, what happens, the guard pulls hard exactly as he does on the sweep. The other guard pulls exactly as he does on the sweep. And the halfback, the ball carrier on a sweep, pulls across just like he does on the sweep. And what we do, we have solid blocking here now and solid blocking here now. And what we do, as he chases, we jab step here. The quarterback spins exactly like he does on a sweep, except the fullback now comes back and runs into this hole without a block. In other words, there's no solid block on that defensive man. That's why we call it a sucker play. We suck him into following the play, and now we give the ball carrier, or we give the ball, or we run the ball into an area which he vacates. Now watch it in this championship game. Watch the left guard, number 68, pull as for the sweep. Watch the right defensive tackle, influenced by the pull, take himself out of the play with his charge. Another common adjustment to stop the sweep, or used to stop the sweep, is the play of the defensive end in this position. He makes a real outside move. In other words, he comes way outside to force the sweep deep, in other words, and knock off the guards so the blocking cannot take place out here. And this is a very, very common one. And what we do is to attack inside of him when we feel that a defensive end is doing that. We call this the long trap. Everything is set up exactly as the sweep. The position of the fullback, the position of the end. He takes the Y end, takes the same position as he does on the sweep. Everything is made to look exactly like the sweep. The fullback influences him even a little bit more. He will drive right at the outside leg of that defensive end, exactly as he does on the sweep, in order to pull him up the field even that much more. And then we'll go through the hole, right through that hole, trying to seal off the linebacker so the linebacker cannot fall off and come back and make the tackle inside. That's very, very important. So he's got to get in there as quick as he can into this hole, in between the end and the linebacker, to seal that particular area off. Here, the guard and the tackle use a doodad type of operation. The offensive right guard drives with his inside shoulder right at the inside of the defensive tackle with his outside shoulder, with his right shoulder. He drives to the inside of the defensive tackle all the time, looking at the linebacker. If the linebacker were to come in hard, he would cut him off. He would leave this block and block the middle linebacker. The offensive tackle leads with his inside foot, the same as he does in the down block, and leads for the outside hip of the defensive man. If the defensive man goes to the inside, he will also seal on the middle linebacker. If the defensive man comes to him, he will block, and the guard will leave and seal on the inside. The YN releases immediately inside to become a seal man. The center blocks back, down blocks to his outside, or down blocks to his backside. The offensive left guard pulls on a trap close to the line of scrimmage. He gains ground into this area and kicks out on the defensive end. This operation is made to look as much like the sweep as we possibly can. The halfback comes across straight. The quarterback pulls out hard, exactly as he does on the sweep, except now it's an underneath handoff to give him a better approach to the trap, to the hole. And of course, we run that play inside the defensive end with a seal here and hopefully a seal on the outside. One other minor point here, and I think it's very important, is that at times, if we get a violent outside charge where the fullback cannot get through the hole, the fullback will take and drive out, and the guard will exchange assignments and go through the hole, and he will seal on the outside linebacker. We call this the long trap.